In this video, we are going to compare two different PCCs that I've built to look identical to one another. I unfortunately can't list the prices here. YouTube has been cracking down on me and I've been losing some of my previous videos, but make sure you go and check the kit page if you want additional information like that. My goal with these two builds is to list out the pros and cons of each to help you know which option would be best for you, as well as answer the question you've been asking: is a budget version of the Daniel PCC just as good, or is spending the extra money worth it? The best way to support the channel is by becoming a member of the kit page, where I provide discount codes and organize all the links to everything I talk about on the channel. Make sure you're signed up for this month's range day. Details are linked in the description. Huge thank you to the sponsors of the channel: Guns Online, thank you. HSL Ammo, they sponsor most if not all of the ammo you see me shoot. It's fantastic. And of course, Optics Planet, thank you. I have discount codes for all of them below. The full disclosure will be below in the description of this video. Let's start with a quick comparison of the two base builds. They both are made from 7075 T6 aluminum. They both have a 7-inch M-LOK handguard. Their barrels are similar but definitely not equal. The AR-v's barrel is an 8-inch 1-in-10 twist chrome moly steel, and the Daniel's barrel is an 8.3 1-in-10 twist cold hammer forged stainless steel, and they both have a 1/2x28 thread pitch. They both accept CZ Scorpion mags, and they both come with basically the same mil-spec trigger. Some key differences outside of the barrel quality difference is the Daniel PCC is fully ambidextrous, where the AR-v is only partially due to the mag release button being on both sides. The Daniel comes with higher quality parts out of the box with their charging handle, grip, flash hider, hand stop, ambi safety selector, and official CZ mag. And I'm just gonna say it, the lower design is way more aesthetically pleasing. But some things I actually loved about the AR-v is the mag release button, which is surprisingly really comfortable to actuate. I do also love how much they reinforced the upper to prevent the handguard from shifting from the upper receiver with anti-rotation technology just about everywhere. And I also like how nice and open the trigger guard is. But now that we have the bases down, let's jump into how I improved the AR-v to make it a worthy competitor to the Daniel Defense PCC. Then we're going to go into the pros and cons. First, I gave the handguard and accessories the same Cerakote as the Daniel to make the vibes the same. I switched out the safety selector to the Radiant Talon, it's a must. Swapped to the dye-free Co-Grip, which I've been a huge fan of. I added a Primary Arms SLX Prism red dot, which is a fantastic budget red dot that is worth the money in my opinion. Added the same SBA4 pistol brace with the same Woodland brace strap. Added the same quad rails unnecessarily, but again, I was trying to match the Daniel. And I did go for Mod Light's Noxon, which is the budget version of their other lights. These are actually really cool because they found a way to fully disclose that they are made outside of the United States, but still offer the same material and quality control standards, making it a very inexpensive high-end weapon light. So I'm a huge fan of that, and it's been fantastic so far. The light itself is sitting on a T-Rex Arms light bar with a Unity tail cap and switch. I did add a Silencer Co. 3-lug so I could run their Omega 9K suppressor, which sounds fantastic on this thing, and I did add the same sling from Edgar Sherman Design. And of course, I ran the same mags, which by the way can be found on the kit page if you're looking for the same ones for your setup. So that is the build. Obviously very similar to the Daniel, only for the most part I went with high quality budget options for some of the big priced items. Now moving into some of the pros and cons of the AR-v in general. Pros: it's obviously less than half the price in its base configuration than the Daniel. It's made from pretty good materials, including the chrome moly barrel. Even though it's not chrome lined, it's still a decent barrel. They could have made it uglier, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. The lower is boxy and in general unattractive to me, but I have seen worse. And I know that sounds like a con, but it's just a rude sounding pro. The anti-rotation tech they used is actually really good and redundant. The way everything connects together was well thought out, and it looks really strong. The mag release button is great, and the fact that I can make this thing look pretty close to as cool as the Daniel is definitely a pro. And weirdly enough, it's actually way less gassy when suppressed. I get way less burning in my eyes when shooting fast, which is a huge pro in my book. I don't know why, but when I shoot my Daniel, my eyes sometimes feel like they're melting. It could just be that they intentionally overgas the system to make it more reliable, but the Daniel does cause a gas in the face problem when suppressed. And the AR-v really doesn't seem to have that issue. Now the cons. The number one con for me is the bolt release. It's absolutely horrendous. Not easy at all to actuate. It's a bad design. At least make the lip more of a thumb shape. I mean, in the cold with gloves on, forget about it. The rest of the cons I can live with, but they really do need to do something about the button. Another con is the handguard only really has 2 usable M-lock slots. The third one is a half-sized, which you can't always use, and when you only have 3, that's pretty important. I did attempt to use a Trigger Tech AR-9 trigger in here, and for whatever reason, it would not fire, so I had to switch back to the OEM trigger. It looked to me like the hammer wasn't even engaging with the firing pin because there was no mark on the primer after pulling the trigger, so it wasn't a light primer issue. The trigger literally just didn't work inside of the gun, so maybe be aware of that. You might be stuck with the OEM trigger. And the last thing is, after 400 consecutive rounds, I started to run into jams roughly every mag after. Of course, this was with no cleaning, but I have never cleaned my Daniel and I've shot thousands of rounds through it with absolutely zero issues when it comes to reliability. Now, obviously the Daniel has very little cons in comparison, and that would and should make sense because it's double the price. Would I say that's a con in and of itself? Not necessarily. It's a hot take, but I think the Daniel PCC is well priced for what you're getting. On the other hand, I also think for half the price, you're also getting really good value for the PSA AR-v. So really what it comes down to is your own budget, because you can make both into a cool, fun, reliable build to shoot. If you want something that's going to stand the test of time, be super reliable, and comes with pretty solid stuff out of the box, I think the Daniel PCC is a fantastic option. But if you want to save a little, get something that you can upgrade over time that will be reliable as long as you keep it clean, in my opinion, the AR-v is honestly a great option. The shooting experience between these two feels very similar. They are both 9mm 8-inch PCCs at the end of the day, so there's really not much of a difference when it actually comes to shooting and training with them. I do like the button ergonomics of the Daniel better because it's based on a General Ambi AR-15, which I'm well versed in. And of course, I love how the Daniel performs overall, as it's more reliable and higher quality. So for me, the winner is the Daniel, but again, based on budgets, if the Daniel is super far out of reach for you, I think if you built the AR-v like this, you would be extremely happy with it. And you could even cut the cost down by not going with these M-lock to quad rail adapters. Regardless of what you go with, just make sure you make it out to the range so you can get some solid training in. Training is what will set you apart when it comes to being able to defend innocent life or not, so get out there and do it. As always, so much more coming to the channel this month, including some custom AR builds, which I know you have been asking for. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.